Hello. Been a couple of weeks. So that there was nothing to say. Just Vanna was getting a little overwhelmed with all the drama. I was bullshitting with her, and I was like, Vanna, what's the problem? She just goes, the hypocrisy abounds. All right. Well, what does she mean by that? Hypocrisy abounds. You could say cognitive dissonance or dissonance. Maybe I'm adding an extra letter in there. It's like holding two opposing ideas in your head at the same time, believing both are true. Orwell talked about it. He called it doublethink. Same thing. Well, we can have a practical example of this contained in something positive and make this a good thing, and we can talk about this. Because odds are, no one talked to you yet. Remember, so this Beck's Guinness. I'm gonna make a black and tan. Probably done this before. This is not a twist off, so you need to open it. Open a beer with beer. Cans are great beer openers. If you're drinking bottles, your buddy's drinking cans, you shouldn't have a fucking beer opener. Use this can. If you're too much of a sissy, because you're not carrying a knife, but you should be carrying the knife. Always take the first sip. Make sure it's not skunked. I made that mistake earlier in a past video. Bend the cap. Very cool. And we'll go lager. So this is a great stein or big old thick glass that a loved one gave to me. Even engraved it, which is pretty neat. So you got your lager. Put in a little bit of stout. See how it works. Oh yeah. This is fantastic. Oh. Yes, skull. All right, folks. So this is pissing Vanna off. When Vanna's pissed, I gotta listen to it. It's like, all right, we'll sit down, take some notes. And there's a bunch. And there could be 4 more pages. But I think we've satisfied the beast of her argument here. So hypocrisy abounds. Or doublethink or cognitive dissonance, whatever. All right. Another way to look at this, so I don't talk to her, I'm telling her, hey, well, it's like, do you hold your beliefs? Do you? Or do your beliefs hold you? And if your beliefs hold you, whose beliefs are you holding? You need to think about this. Somebody told you what to believe. You bought it hook, line, and sinker. Did you figure it out? Do you agree with it? Did you even think about whether you agree with it or not? And what's their motivation to get you to believe that way? The first time I noticed this, I was a fucking kid. I've never been a huge sports guy. I'm watching a game, whatever, sports ball. It could have been the white ball hit with the stick or the orange ball going through the net or whatever the fuck. But I'm watching it, and whoever I'm watching it with is a fan. I enjoy watching a ball game if I'm sitting with somebody, 1, that I like, and 2, they're a fan of the game. Because I can enjoy the game through them. Okay? Because I like them. So I like this person. They're watching the game. and their team, the refs throw a flag or blow a whistle or some shit. And I'm watching it, and I know enough about the game that it's a bad call. And it should have affected my buddy's team. But it didn't. It benefited my buddy's team. And without doubt, it was a bad fucking call. Showed on the TV replay thing. It's a bad fucking call. And my bud, I'm like, ooh, that sucks, you know. The integrity of the sport was, you know, rattled a little bit, you know. And my buddy's fucking happy as a pig in shit. Just happy as fuck. I'm like, what the fuck are you so happy about? That's a really bad call. It shouldn't have gone that way. He's like, I don't care as long as it helps my team. Needless to say, we're not super close anymore because I don't even remember who the fuck that was. That's how much I distanced myself from that person. You don't want to be close to people that think that way. Because that is some crazy shit. That's not a fully developed human being. That's a fucking mindless robot. No thank you. No thank you. I backed right out of that. Right out of that. So, people do that shit all the fucking time. All the time. Alright? And it is deemed acceptable. And it's not! Skull. So this would be kind of a mentor lesson for all the young men out there in the tubes of you. So, I thought up a bunch of examples from my life. Been around at least probably over half my life. Probably past the halfway point. So when I was a kid, the First Amendment, freedom of speech, was attacked by Republicans. And specifically like metal music. The lead singer, Twisted Sister, spoke before Congress. He's actually super smart and took a dump in the brains of all those politicians because he was articulate, knew the Constitution. And they put this parental advisory sticker on music, and all it did was make more people go out and buy it. It had the opposite effect. But so when I was a kid, the Republicans were attacking freedom of speech. Nowadays, the Republicans are defending the freedom of speech. Okay, so I guess if you're a Republican or a Democrat, your positions are fluid. I don't know. One thing that really threw me for a loop was way back in the day, back at the turn of the millennium, or just after the turn of the millennium, the early aughts, when I first got into law enforcement, I was up at the Capitol, and I saw all these politicians, and I believed wholeheartedly, hook, line, and sinker, not a one of those politicians would ever in a million years do anything to hurt an American citizen. Because they swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States to protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that would help America, help the citizenry, promote individual liberty, right? Yeah, that would make sense. No! They constantly break their oaths. They did back then, and they do now. And I was fucking speechless. I felt like I got hit upside the head with a 2x4. It took me a while to get up off the mat from that blow. Here's another example. When I was a kid, Democrats were a big anti-war party. They were still leftover hippies from the baby boomer generation and really grabbed onto that idea. You know, everybody in the military is fucking baby killers, right? And big anti-war party. Well, now they're all fucking war hawks. All of them. Well, what the fuck? It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. And now that same generation that made the military the boogeyman, which is really fucked up when you think about it, because their generation was actually conscripted. That means guns pointed at them, you're out of high school, we're putting you in uniform, kicking your ass on the other side of the planet to go fight in Vietnam. They had no choice in it, and they got demonized by their own generation. Now that they're running the world, fighting a two-front war, a constant war on terrorism, which is, I guess, an imaginary army, maybe? I don't know. They can't say hate the troops anymore because they're the ones sending the troops over there. So now it's support the troops. They had to find a new boogeyman. And it's not terrorism, by the way. That's an excuse. So, a lot of people like to scream the whole "my body, my choice" thing. Okay, man, that's like I like that's a good phrase. I really like it. But just about everybody who screams that in reference to abortion was super duper happy when Obamacare passed, which had every individual was mandated by law to go and purchase insurance from a third party, and if not, be fined by the IRS. Well, is it your body and your choice, or is it not your body or your choice? What the fuck? It's two opposing ideas. All right? And they don't mix up as well as Beck's and Guinness in a nice frosty mug. Like here. Where here it works. Delicious. You'll see the parallels, people. Oh, there is a weird one. The feminists love the Clintons. Okay. I don't know what to say on that one. There's a huge thing. I mean, it's come up. This whole the historical past of slavery in the Western world. Okay, all right. Well, the Western world did kill slavery. The Eastern and the Muslim world didn't do it. But okay, fair enough. The legitimate bitch. Okay, and without question, the West fucking paid for it. At least in the North American continent, 600,000 at least dead Americans. If you're gonna take that as the reason for the Civil War, and people on all sides of the issue, doesn't matter their race or whatever, they're saying that wasn't enough blood. There needs to be more. There needs to be this, whatever. Just 600,000 people dead. All right. What's good? 2 million? Okay. Well, a lot of people that keep bringing the sins of the past, but you need to know about the sins of the past so you don't remake them. They bring up this specific sin of the past, the slavery issue, and they love income tax. They tax the fuck out of those people who are making money. I got a drink on this one. What are you if you don't own your labor? You get paid for your labor if you're free. If you tax income, which is the production of an individual's labor, whatever percentage you're taxing them at is the percentage you are okay with slavery. Now, that may hurt you in the feels, but I'm not saying anything controversial. I'm just saying things that are true that nobody has. I never heard these things until I had to self-educate and go out and read a bunch of different people, even people I disagreed with, people I'd never heard these ideas. You know, you gotta, come on, if you don't own your labor and you work for somebody else and they keep all the productive value of your labor, then you're a fucking slave. If you're good with an income tax, that means you're whatever that percentage you're comfortable with, that's how comfortable you are with slavery. That's the truth. If it's 25% income tax, then you're fine to work whoever the fuck it is you're taxing for their labor. A quarter of the year, they're a slave for you. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right? Those two ideas don't mix. Shit, Whitney Houston, when I was a kid, she sang this song, I Believe the Children Are the Future. We hear this shit all the time. I believe the children are the... Bullshit, you do. Bullshit. Because people are... I'm proud of my abortion. We're just slaughtering kids left and fucking right. And they're pushing it all the way up to the governor of Virginia during 2000. You know, we're in... still in the Chinese AIDS period of the United States era, where the governor of Northern Virginia, hell, he's talking about live birth abortions. You know, really, people, and the children of the future, you're going to say that out of one side of your mouth because you want to up the money going into education because the kids are important, right? But we're going to kill them all before they're born. Okay. And don't give me that whole, well, what about... Look, abortion, I'm not saying anything negative about abortion. Abortion is just a medical procedure. That's all it is. It's like amputation. It doesn't mean amputation should be a life procedure. People are thinking in ways, they're being ideologically possessed. Ideas are owning them. They are not thinking. They're holding two ideas in their head at the same time. If you're fine with slavery, then fine, yeah, you're fine with income tax. But you can't say you're against one 100%, but fine with that. Right? I like lagers and stouts. And they mix beautifully in a black and tan. I can't say I hate stouts and drink Guinness on the weekends. Integrity's a big deal, people. This is a big one. You've been hearing a lot about this one. Open borders! We need open fucking borders everywhere! Well, fine. You know what? That sounds alright. And at the end of the day, it's a real big libertarian point of view. Fair enough. But you can't run a libertarian border policy in a socialist commie welfare state. Opposing ideas that don't work together. You want the commie welfare state? Fine. You need to put up a goddamn Berlin Wall around your fucking country. That's the way it works. You can't have free shit for everybody and no borders. If you don't have free shit for everybody, you can have open borders. See? See how that works? You don't get both. You don't get both. You can like wearing leather jackets, but you don't want to wear one when it's fucking 150 degrees out. You'd have to drink. You'd have to hydrate more. So good. You know, a big one. And this is going back to when I was a cop. I'd be in a place of business or whatever, parent's got a little kid with them, a little toddler, hey, how you doing? And they'd be like, oh, and I'm like, hey, buddy, get down on my knees, play with them a little bit, say hi to the parents or whatever, and they'd be like, yeah, that's a good guy, and you better do what I tell you to do, or he's gonna take you away from me and lock you up in a fucking cage. And I'd be like, what in the fuck are you saying to this kid? I have one of two responses. Pick the kid up and tell some of them would get terrified. I'd be like, I would never do anything to hurt you, little one. Don't worry. I'd die before I hurt you. And then or I'd end up screaming at the parent in front of the kid while I'm holding the kid, protecting the kid from the parent's bad ideas. Look, do you own your ideas? Have you done any thinking? Or do ideas from other people own you? You got to think about it. Leave the herd. Or leave the rabble. Be a fucking human being. You had this. Use it. It is actually very difficult and stressful to do. I get it. Think for yourself. Don't let others think for you. This has gone for 20 minutes. This could go on for 2 fucking hours. Hopefully I offended at least one of you. But I still love you. Bye.